And I didn't even know Jake Paul was fighting. So he's saying all this shit. I was in Italy. I didn't even know the guy was fighting. When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't
Wait,
have.
Jake Paul dropped a bombshell after Dana White delivered a brutal reality check on camera. Jake, known for his controversial antics, faces accusations of fixing a fight with Mike Tyson and rejecting Andrew Tate's offer. His actions seem like a masterclass in crafting a cringeworthy public image.
The only time I ever talk about Jake Paul is if I'm asked about him. He just brought him up.
I have a great
I
question.
wouldn't have brought him up.
This time, Dana didn't just call Jake out. He dismantled his 4-year game plan with the precision of a UFC surgeon. Every move was laid bare, exposing a strategy so absurd it made reality TV seem credible. Jake's tactics unraveled, leaving no doubt about the game he'd been playing.
You think, with all the shit that I got going on and what we're doing, you think I'm thinking about Jake Paul?
No.
I'm not.
So what would one?
And I don't mean that in a way to shit on the
No, he's making a lot of money.
It's just the truth.
Knowing Jake's team, they're likely scrambling to delete the footage faster than Jake dodges real opponents. Blink, and you might miss the chaos unraveling before it's gone.
In the UFC is the best in the world fight the best. That's what we do, you know. What Jake Paul and those guys do is completely different. And again, the kid's doing his thing. I'm not shitting on him. And listen, if smaller, older guys want to fight him, then they're doing their.
A leaked fight script revealed the showdown's pre-planned moves, from Tyson's aggressive start to Jake's cautious mid-round tactics, exposing the event as entirely staged and shattering its authenticity.
And he calls people out for attention.
Yeah.
When you call Alex is a superstar, right?
It wasn't just disappointing, it was insulting. Fans didn't pay to watch a poorly rehearsed play. They paid for a real fight. Instead, they got a flashy, overhyped farce. Dana White didn't mince words, calling it a disgrace, and he's not wrong. Jake Paul's formula is predictable. Find an opponent who's older, smaller, or past their prime. It's a script that prioritizes spectacle over authenticity, leaving true fight fans frustrated.
I always thought that Netflix was crazy not to get into live sports sooner than they did. Those guys truly have a global footprint. I think they're late to the game, but it was a big success.
The performance of the broadcast, did that give you pause to do business with Netflix at all?
I didn't think the event was a great event, but they needed to do that. They knew Mike Tyson was going to bring in big.
Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and now Mike Tyson, a legend more famous for his cannabis empire than boxing today. Jake Paul isn't after real competition. He's chasing headlines. But when faced with someone his age and skill level, like Tommy Fury, the outcome is clear. He loses. Fury already proved that in the ring.
I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not my fight. I love Mike Tyson, you know, personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time.
Jake's callouts, like Canelo Alvarez and Alex Pereira, scream clout chasing more than real challenges. Everyone knows these fights won't happen, but they keep Jake trending. Fans, however, are tired of the gimmicks and predictable formula. Dana sees right through it, and so does the audience. Jake's strategy is stale, and the lack of evolution is glaring. The frustration is building, and people are starting to lose interest.
What did you expect? Seriously, when you stayed home and you turned on Netflix that night, were you like, holy f***, I'm about to see the greatest live sporting event of all time?
Fans who once watched Jake Paul out of curiosity or amusement now accuse him of faking his career. From scripted fights to hollow gimmicks, the act is wearing thin. Even Dana White, known for targeting UFC rivals, has called Jake's moves a calculated scam. This time, fans seem to agree, turning against the controversial influencer boxer.
Put together a training camp and come in and, you know, I don't like to see guys fighting it. Be a 31-year age difference during that fight. Just, you guys know what I think of that.
Dana White's latest criticism makes it clear he sees Jake Paul as more marketer than fighter. To Dana, Jake is a savvy showman who excels at selling fights but lacks true fighting skill. He's called Jake's career a circus act, built on gimmicks and theatrics rather than grit or talent. While combat sports thrive on big personalities, Dana believes Jake's approach undermines the sport's credibility, tarnishing what he claims to love.
People that are, you know, there's a lot of, and Portnoy went out and said that it was the greatest con job of all time.
The UFC thrives on one core principle: the best fight the best. From Khabib Nurmagomedov's legacy to Amanda Nunes' dominance, Dana White has championed real competition over theatrics. This starkly contrasts Jake Paul's entertainment-driven approach. Dana criticizes Jake's matchmaking, calling it more about headlines than genuine challenges. Opponents like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, though legendary, were well past their prime when facing Jake. Dana views this as a calculated move to boost Jake's record while dodging real risks, likening it to the scripted drama of reality TV.
An older guy who's smaller than you.
Great. What could he?
It's the same blueprint.
So what could he do where he could get in the same room with you?
It's the same blueprint.
Well, I don't think
fight.
the UFC makes that much money if someone fights Jake Paul.
I'm asking Dana White.
Yeah,
what
like it's
Jake-
just
So he's
like,
not fighting Alex.
Alex Dana criticized Jake's career as a scripted spectacle designed for viral attention. He claimed the leaked script for Jake's fight against Mike Tyson proved this, revealing every move, from Tyson's bob and weave to Jake's comeback, was pre-planned. For Dana, it was an insult to genuine competition. The Tyson fight was a disaster on multiple levels. The fight script leaked days before the event, revealing every pre-rehearsed move. Fans expecting a clash between the 57-year-old legend and the self-proclaimed problem child were left disappointed. Instead of a genuine battle, they got a spectacle resembling pro wrestling. Despite his age and long absence from competitive fighting, Tyson still exposed Jake Paul's lack of skill, landing key moments that highlighted how outclassed Jake truly was.
Where his head's at in life in terms of what he wants to do.
Okay, but you didn't answer the question. Do you have any interest in it?
I don't know. I mean, Andrew's messaged me over the past few days, and
Dana White criticized Jake Paul's Tyson fight, calling it a stain on boxing's fragile reputation. His frustration went beyond the fight itself. It symbolized a bigger issue: the erosion of authenticity in combat sports.
He's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better.
Jake's first controversy marked a turning point, revealing his willingness to sacrifice audience trust to stay in the spotlight. For Dana, it proved Jake isn't focused on being a fighter but on building a brand. While this approach may work temporarily, it's not sustainable in a sport that requires respect, skill, and authenticity. The fallout from the Tyson fight has intensified scrutiny on Jake Paul's boxing career. Leaked scripts, social media backlash, and Dana White's harsh criticism suggest his success is more about style than substance. Whether Jake can prove himself as a legitimate fighter is uncertain, but the shadow of the Tyson fight still looms large. In combat sports, such shadows are hard to shake.
Pereira would
He's
kill
Alec
him.
Pierre.
Pereira would kill Jake Paul.
Pereira.
Who?
Alex.
Pereira.
Oh my God! Exactly. It'd be murder.
You think
That's
that
what I
fight would
told Jake
happen?
yesterday. Murder.
What else I was saying about Dana too is like the
But
boxing.
how's that fight possibly going to happen?
I
That's just
wonder
not going to happen.
The commission would even let that fight happen.